How can professionals start businesses using their own brains that they got out of school? We are seeing so many professionals who have taken a year or 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years without getting jobs. Does it mean that you not getting a job, are you dumb or not sharp or probably not worthy the jobs that you apply for? The world market has been taken over by AI, taken over by systems, taken over by robots. And that's why some of us, getting jobs is going to be very difficult. And again, did you know that there's nothing you study that people have never studied? It's how we garnish ourselves as we get into the employment field. In this case, we want to discuss different ways on how you can use the same brain you got out of school to actually start your own business, become an employer, and also move at a pace that is going to be less stressful. Some of you say not everybody is meant to be a business person, an entrepreneur. I would like to tell you that all professions need one of the greatest topics, entrepreneurship. If you're a doctor, you'll be an entrepreneur, definitely. Because if you start up a clinic or a hospital, you'll need to get clients to yourself. If you're a lawyer, you need clients into your chambers as well. If you're an accountant and you have an accounting firm or consultancy, you need clients as well. So you realize that in all fields that we're in, wherever we've gone to school, at one time, you need to be an entrepreneur. And any business we're talking about is not the selling, and buying, but that knowledge you have can create a business that you can easily handle. My name is Yesiji Brand Bravo, and I'm here once again with
Coach Samuel Ibanda.
Coach Samuel Ibanda, who has decided to share his knowledge out there to everyone that is watching us. You're most welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yes, we are tackling a very complicated field where somebody says, do business. Someone has finished school, no money, no job, no savings, and here we're telling them, please go and do business. For those who would want to know me, I am the CEO and founder of Bravo Shoes. For all of you who would want to buy school shoes for your children, just know that Bravo Shoes is available for all your school footwear and also for shoes for people living with diabetes. And that's my field, and I'm also into humanitarian. I know some of you sometimes you run to my profile and check it out. And that's what I do, and that's what I love doing for the past 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. I also just share about myself. So I'm also an accountant by profession. I'm an entrepreneur as well as a consultant. I'm very passionate about young people, helping them in the areas of personal finance, career, and also business development.
Yes.
I'm a certified business provider, service provider by the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. And I want to empower as many professionals create businesses. Why? Because we are in an era where the jobs are getting scarce every day. And there are quite a lot of people that have graduated and their only hope is to find a job, which jobs sometimes are actually not available, like you mentioned. So we want to see how do we open up the minds of people to start looking beyond just the jobs, but also to start creating the jobs. And maybe you can also create and give other people jobs as well. So why this topic is why I'm very passionate about this topic is because I have walked the journey myself. When I left university, I thought I was going to land myself into this high-paying job and would survive. And before I knew it, of course, it was a hassle to really find a job. But at the end of the day, you're renting somewhere, you have to eat, you have to drink, you need some money to really run around. So I now started to create some small businesses that really equipped me, that even by the time I got the job, that was something that I was bringing money. So it's very important for you, if you've just graduated, or even if you ended in any class, instead of you just looking for a job, can you think about how to create a business out of what you know. And here we're not even just saying about, I know most of the question that is actually going to come through is, I don't have capital.
Yes.
And this podcast is to remind you that your greatest capital is your knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you see, we spend on average over, let's say, 16 years within school.
Yeah.
And all this time that we are within school, there's a lot of investment that is being put into our education.
Yeah.
And it's very absurd that you can actually go to school and leave school and come back and sit home and be like you didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
So that is why it's very important for somebody, if at all there's something you studied, because I do believe that the same way you're looking for a job, you're looking so that you can provide a service to somebody. Now, when you start to look at your knowledge from a business point of view, it means that you now say, if I don't find a job, how can I sell this knowledge? On, let's say, on a consultancy basis, maybe to businesses that may not afford me as an employee, but it could actually offer me let's say consultancy, where I come and support them. I'm an accountant myself. There are quite a lot of businesses that are interested in, let's say, helping them with taxes, but they may not afford to pay me on a monthly basis. But when you bring your knowledge, let's say in taxes, this business is able to, let's say, hire you maybe for 1 month, pay you an amount of money which is within their means, and at the end of the day, you're earning, the business is also moving on. Before you know it, this business owner has also recommended you to another business owner because you've done a great service. This business owner, again, you've supported, recommends you to another. Before you know it, you actually have over, let's say, 10 businesses that you're supporting in your line of field, and they are paying you an amount of money that is even more than what you would have earned from a salary. Wow. And you go on to now to even register this business and bring even other people, either you studied with, or even other people that are just leaving university, to also start providing the same. And here we are creating an ecosystem where businesses that can't afford have access to the service, but at the end of the day, even the people that don't have the jobs are getting something that they can actually take home.
Wow. You see, when you talk about, we have a culture that everybody who finishes school, they put a certain value on themselves. And then again, you've realized that somebody is not ready to offer a free service. I myself, as an entrepreneur, I've invited so many people where I invite them, I say, okay, I can't afford to pay you here, but can you support? And then somebody says, no, unless I get this much money. I'll tell you another example. One time when I was recruiting senior 6 leavers, whom I was told that I can recruit them from January, February, and then March for 3 months or 2. And I carried out interviews, and a child would come to you and say, if you don't pay me 700,000, then I will not be able to join you. You get my point? That's not enough for my service. Then I looked at somebody who has just finished senior 6, even somebody who has just finished university. Somebody puts a price on themselves. And we're seeing where the world is changing, at a terrific speed, where actually most investors or most people are discarding humans out of these systems. What does this mean? That yes, as many are running to school, many are losing their jobs. We must agree to it. You either accept it or not. Because robots are taking over our work, because humans have been proven inefficient, actually, in most cases. And I think that's why technology is running at a fast pace, to make sure that we can be able to, someone who has invested his money can get the worth of his money. So these young men, as you say, that somebody can be able to get someone to help them, let's say in taxation, if we're talking about the accounts, and provide a free service and say, let me commit myself to a free service. That's voluntary. And then be able to get into the system. Our children, our families, are not ready to do this. I would give you an example. Every end of year, this January, February, March, I put up something that I called upon so many parents out there. I tried it out as an entrepreneur. I told parents, I said, I'm going to take in about 5 children. I'm not able to pay them. First of all, I will get their labor, which is okay. And I said, let the parents pay me money, okay, for accepting the 5 children whom I will vet.
Yes.
Take them in, but the salary will be paid by their parents. What was I trying to achieve? I was trying to look at this child, instead of keeping home idle on TV, parents have money. So I'm like, okay, if you are ready to pay them 500,000 or 1 million, give it to a company. Every day they will get their transport out from the company, get also salary at the end of the month, with restrictions that whenever they miss, they are cut off. Now, I was trying to let parents allow their children into the system, even when I can't afford to pay them. Now, do you know what I got? Most parents, do you know what they said? No, you want free labor, and we cannot allow our children to do that.
Quite interesting. And
yes.
I think one of the things that, Brian, we need to appreciate is that a lot of graduates leave university without the required skills that match what is needed in the market. And it takes effort of a graduate, or even mindset-wise, to understand that if I'm getting my first job, or if I'm going to freelance my services, this is to my benefit because I'm also learning in the process. If I come for accounting services to your enterprise, I'm testing my skills on your business.
Yes.
And it's not a favor that you do, giving me a favor, but it's a two-way. There's a mutual benefit at the end of the day. Actually, for certain, let's say, for certain businesses or certain employees that get jobs, sometimes you even feel like it's you who should be paying because there's a level of skill that you're getting from, let's say, the enterprise that you wouldn't have gotten if you were remaining to sit at home. And that's why volunteering is also very important when it comes to if you do not have experience. I know most of the times they say employers are looking for experience. Somebody's just out of university, but they want 5 years experience.
Yeah.
Why? Because the businesses are looking for value.
Absolutely.
They are in business. They don't want to bring somebody who demands, like the way you've said, I need the 700,000 for my services, but you can't even give 300,000 worth of the value.
Yeah.
I think we need to change the mindset from the point of view that you're not looking at just the earning, but what value are you creating?
Yes.
Because when you start to look at it from the value that you're creating, this is now the value you will sell out.
Yes.
Brian, there are quite a lot of people. I was watching one of the videos online, and the young girl was saying, I studied agriculture and I'm looking for a job. Please give me a job. And in my mind, I went on to comment and said, what skills do you have? Because it's not just about the course you studied. It's about the skills that you bring.
Yes.
Because there are quite a lot of farmers. We've been into a drought season. And there are farmers who are struggling on what to do with their maize in the fields. And for you, you studied agriculture, and whatever is in your mind is to find a job. Yet there's a lot of knowledge that you could actually put to use and help such farmers because you're skilled, you're professional. So I think it's very important for young people who are leaving university to start to think in a broader way.
Yes. We
are in a digital era. It doesn't cost you to get that phone and put it in front of yourself and start speaking about the things you've studied.
Yeah.
Because in from there, somebody's actually going to see your skills, your knowledge, what you bring on the table.
Yes.
And before you know it, somebody's consulting. And now it is upon you to say, how much would you want? It's upon you to say, this is what I'm providing you. And also to speak your price and say, can you pay back maybe consultancy fees? And if you're starting out, definitely, of course, you're not going to start from high because you're looking at the value you're creating. If somebody has an acreage of maize and they are consulting with you on how they can do, you're not going to say, I'll charge you 700,000. Just think about even the farmer themselves. How much money are they going to get from there? You're not charging them because I studied, I have a degree. You're thinking about your value from the point of what you studied.
Yes.
Yet you don't even have the real life skills and forgetting about the value that you're offering to this person.
Yeah.
So it's a change in mindset, and it does not, because you see, I think we don't have to blame this only to the children or to the young graduates that are leaving university. we also need to bring in the parents, like the way you mentioned.
Yeah.
There are lots of parents who, in their mindset, I took my kid to university, I paid for them, they need to find a job. And there are even young people that are so creative in nature. A young person says, can I start a YouTube channel? Can I do? Parents want to have that pride of, my son is working for this bank. My son is, or my daughter is working for, let's say, URA. This is the kind of pride they have. At the end of the day, these young people are frustrated because they are struggling to find these jobs.
Yeah.
These days, even, I know they say connections, you need connections to get, even when you have connections in this era and age, it is a struggle.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people that have connections. When they advertise, even if they are advertising for 100 opportunities, already people are there chasing after these opportunities.
Yeah.
In the recruitment sector, and you find that a single opportunity attracts over 500 people.
Yeah. Over
500 people.
Yeah.
And what pains me so much, Brian, it's been about 10 years from the time I left university. There are people that we studied with that up to now,
They've never got a job.
they have never gotten a job and they're still looking for a job. They have not studied any business. Even the knowledge, because 10 years a difference if you've not practiced what you've studied, much likely you've forgotten it. But if this graduate who graduated 10 years ago, if they looked for a job maybe within the first year and they struggled to find a job and said, wait a moment, I studied these accounting things, I studied things around human resource, I studied things to do with marketing, what can I use this knowledge in terms of providing, let's say, consultancy services? This person would be so far, because right now, if you take it over 10 years and you're doing your work very well, by that time you have over, let's say, 20 clients, you have over, you have a pool,
Yes.
and you're not lacking.
Yeah.
So I think this mindset of saying when you go to study that degree, the only ultimate goal should be to find a job, I think needs to change. And this is not just even for people who are already out, but even for parents right now. If your child is going through university, you need to start opening their mind, ask themselves, what can you do with your knowledge in case you don't find a job? And even within, I know that the government is also trying to change the curriculum and input some entrepreneurship in there. I think we need to change that mindset because honestly, the jobs are so scarce.
Yes.
And technology is replacing.
True.
The curriculums are not moving at the pace at which technology is actually upgrading. And what this also means that even you who has gone through university, do not just relax from the skills that you've gotten from university. You need to see whatever have learned from university, is it still relevant right now? If it is not relevant, now you need to focus and see how can I equip myself? If artificial intelligence is what is running right now, how can I go to YouTube and learn some of these things? Or how can I subscribe for a free course? There are lots of things. And before you know it, you're the person who is actually getting that artificial intelligence knowledge and now marketing yourself to say, I can help businesses move from analog to use artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And you're getting customers. So it's very important because some people, because you studied accounting, some people studied BBA, yeah, like anything that is outside accounting or BBA, I cannot do.
I cannot do.
But these days, this marketing,
Everywhere.
Bravo, you're running shoes. You have a shoe company.
Yeah.
Somebody can come and say, how can I help you market these shoes? I think it all goes out the mindset, knowing that.
Yeah. You see, when you talk about the mindset, for example, why I would still say, why do companies ask for experience immediately when you have left university? I think people don't know why this is in place.
Yeah.
Let me take you back. We are on the system of the British, system, which is still applicable in the other side.
Yeah.
So they expect that a child finishing high school or year 12 or 13, grade 13, that child is already in the age of where they can get employment somewhere.
Yep.
As you get out of university, you say, I've been in university for 5 years, but I have experience for 5 years. Okay? I think the employer is looking at, have you been absorbed in the employment sector?
Yeah.
Have you been to understand how to associate with employees, to work, those basics. It may not be the experience much of what you're going to do there, but have you been incorporated, or you are too fresh that even you must be taught on how to deal with people at workplaces? So it was that every child who goes to high school, after high school, university must have employment as they study and go to university. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
If somebody left university today and told me, look, bravo, I have my bachelor's of BBA, and I have a 5-year experience. I was working with, let's say, Bravo Shoes, and during 5 years, I worked as a salesperson, I worked as a receptionist, I worked as a cashier, I worked in the supermarket, I worked at at my father's business as well, or I worked as somewhere where even when you go there, they're able to give you a recommendation that you've worked with them for 5 years. Yeah. That means you'd be running, ahead of any other student. So when I introduced this, telling parents to come and bring me, for example, in the high seasons, and say, give me 5 children that can be able to, my work is involving lifting boxes, selling, cleaning, everywhere you go. Yeah. That a parent who has money can say, okay, instead of my child 3 months holiday being wasted on TV and outing, let me pay so that they're at this place. Yes. You remember when you come to my place, first of all, you'll use it in your CV. You'll get the recommendation, okay? Somebody will speak about it. Then when the child comes into my place or anywhere, they're able to know sales. They're able maybe to know how to write receipts. Yes. They're able to know how to clean. They're able to know how to associate with employees and then talk to customers. So I have given you the skill. But this skill, when I asked the parents to do this, it was so bad that many parents said that I cannot use free labor of their children. And I realized, I said, wow, this is how we are messing it up. Yeah. And yes, you may have the money and you can afford to pay salary of this child. And how much was the salary? I told them, no, look, every day I will need 15,000 for your child. They will take breakfast and their lunch, and we don't want them to be dropped. Another person told me, no, I have to drop my son this time and pick my daughter. I said, now, if you're dropping a son of that age, then we are not achieving what we need. Yeah. So I said, that one cannot join me, I'm sorry. They have to use the public means. It's not about putting them in class that you have to drop. Yes, your children, you may have the car, we know in your family, but this child must go through life process if you want it. And then others are saying, no, I don't have the money, and my child must be able to start earning. I said, okay, then that's okay. Many of them have never got jobs. You can imagine, this is something I was trying to create as an entrepreneur of, if I do it, you do it, someone else does it, means that we are able to absorb our children even in places of work where we don't need to struggle. Because if you have said, oh, you want someone to help you? No, let my son come, I will pay their salary. Okay? Indirectly, because this should be arranged at the back of the mind of the child, so that the child doesn't know that it is the parent who is actually paying them. What a privilege. To me, I see that if you have a privilege for your son or daughter not being idle home, remember when a child comes to my workplace, I'll tell them no phones, no using telephone at work, not doing this. So they are learning that actually employment, this is what it takes to be at somebody's employment. So that's how innovative I became, but it's unfortunate that we couldn't grasp it. And now, guess what? We are getting people who are not actually anywhere, who are saying, okay, can I come and be there and become a cleaner? And guess what? They're getting successful because, look, you are deploying them on an entrepreneur. They are learning, they're getting everything, and tomorrow they become successful. And I think that's the reason why you see that many non-educated, the illiterates, I'll call them illiterates, are more successful and are getting more successful because they are planted next to the reality, and they end up becoming successful the other day. And yet an accountant is looking at it, shifting job to job. Every year changing a new job, new job, new job. At the end of the day, you find you have nothing by the years are closing down. Yeah.
It's very sad. And I think as even you share, I think there's something that you really bring up, because we live in an era and age where we want our children not to go through the life that we went through.
Yeah.
but in the end, we're actually damaging. We are creating a mindset within our children that life has to be okay. Yet it is actually the uncomfortable way of living that has brought us to where we are. And for professionals that have just left university, I think this should be now be a reminder for you to know that when you leave university, can you offer your skills, let's say at a volunteer basis? Because even as we sell the knowledge, you're not just going to go online and say, I'm selling accounting services, or I'm selling marketing services, or I'm selling agriculture services. You need to be able to prove. Entrepreneurs make decisions, especially when they see that you've done something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we have advantage that we have a network. We have many small businesses that are struggling in various areas that you do not need even to move miles to find somebody to help. And before you know it, the person you've helped is giving you a testimonial. Either even if they come and comment on your video and say you helped me, or maybe they give you something written. That itself is the starting point. I've seen people share WhatsApp, screenshots of WhatsApp messages for people who are appreciating what they have provided. I think there is more that you can actually do, especially with what you studied. But there are also people who they studied, and because they have failed to find a job, they'll say, let me leave these accounting things and go do other things. It is okay for you to start, maybe you're starting a boutique or do other things. But one of the things I usually say, if you invested in a degree and you went and studied, there's something that you can actually gain from this.
Yeah.
As you run the other businesses where you want to run, you can also get this knowledge and even start with the business that you want to run yourself and apply it there. But find a way of how you can give it. There's a lot of money in freelancing. And I think it's because the Western world has really gone ahead of us. When you go to platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, there are lots of things. These days, Brian, you find that people who have Facebook profiles, LinkedIn profiles, but you can't find anything to do with somebody saying I offer, let's say, freelancing services to maybe small businesses, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone is, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. I think we need to
professional fees.
Yes.
I know raise professional fees. People attach themselves to professional fees.
Yes. They want to speak of a salary before even they can think about the value. So I think it's very important for us to look beyond. We've studied these courses, but what does the market need? What are the small businesses looking for? If I'm coming to offer my services to a shoe company like yours, it would be totally different if I had come to, let's say, Naria Motel.
Yes.
Because when I come to Naria Motel, I know that this is a place that has accommodation. This is a place that provides meals. This is a place that has maybe oils that they sell, has plants. If I'm trying to think about it from terms of the accounting, I already picture some of the things that they may be struggling with.
Yeah.
I come with that kind of approach. The same way you studied, even if you studied agriculture, if somebody is dealing in maize or they are dealing in animal husbandry, you need to know how to approach them to see how do I position myself. If you've struggled to find a job, sometimes you're pressurizing people. I need a job. Those uncles you're sending them. Now change and say, I need customers to whom I can provide my services.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be easy. It might be easy, Brian, to take a chance on me for my services than to give me a job. Because when you give me a job, first I need a contract.
Yeah.
So we're going to agree, and you're like, can I be with this person for the next 1 year? The decision is really a big decision. It's a business decision. But if I'm saying I can offer you services, and I'm even willing to offer you some of these services for free at the start to see what I can offer, you'll be like, okay, you can come through, provide the service. Before you know it, I have done well, that by the time I'm speaking my price, you're like, this person has value. Instead of me incurring 1 million to have somebody to come here full time, I can actually offer this person to come through maybe weekly, and they do the same work that this person is providing.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned about technology, there is nothing that has given us leverage like technology. Do you know that as an accountant, I don't need to come to Naria Motel or to go to Bravo Shoes or go to any other company. I can actually offer them services while I'm where I am.
Yes.
In either my small office or at home. Because there are these accounting systems. You know, I speak about a lot of around accounting because that is what I studied and that's what I can easily explain. The accounting systems like QuickBooks, which you can actually create different companies just within that same system. And you're supporting them. You're able to produce financial statements. You're able to manage their taxes. You're able to help them with cash management, whatever they need. All you do is to schedule maybe an appointment, maybe once in a week, and you're providing them the services.
Yeah.
And before you know it, the businesses are growing. They are recommending you. You are also growing. Believe me, you will never look for a job again. Because when you look at the amount of money you're making, let's say you're making 3 million a month, if somebody is giving you 1 million, you're like, it doesn't make sense for me. And here you're going to create an enterprise, scale it, and even bring in more people to come through.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And one of the things is, I know when somebody lives in university, like we mentioned, they do not have the skill.
Yeah.
Start from volunteering. Just go to somewhere and say, I'm going to be here for 6 months to learn what is done.
Yeah.
And when it comes to providing services, again, I want to emphasize this. There is your skill, but there are also other things that are around that skill that make the business.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, they think that, okay, since I've studied these things of industrial design and I can do this, let me just do some of these products or these services, and then customers will come. Actually, even as we speak, there are people are saying, but I've tried and there are no customers. I can't find the customers. I think it's very important for somebody to start to equip themselves in other aspects. Like you brought about, if you didn't study marketing, learn marketing.
Yeah.
Learn how the digital world is working.
Yeah.
There are these days, content is king these days. Just creating content. How do you attract people to your profile?
Yeah.
You know, you're selling accounting services, but you can't even post about anything to do accounting. Yours is, I have this LinkedIn profile, people don't contact me.
Yeah.
How are they going to contact you if you're not posting?
You don't even appear in the search and in the newsfeed.
Brian, I know you as one of those that posts like more frequently. You post even more than 10 posts a day.
More than 10.
More,
and even now, my new profession is now connecting souls.
Yes. So you find that if somebody is so skilled at a given something they studied,
Yeah.
why don't you create content and even post like 5 times a day?
Yeah.
Basically, it's the way you sell the product. You know, they say Coca-Cola, no matter how everyone now knows Coca-Cola, their adverts are everywhere. You'll find them on social media, you find them on TV, you find them in the newspapers.
And yet we've grown up taking Coca-Cola.
Yes, it should be obvious.
Yes.
But why are they doing like this? Because they have understood the aspect of the mind.
Yes.
The mind moves on very fast.
Yes.
When somebody is looking for a certain kind of service, if you've been posting for 5 times and you've been in their face, when somebody asks, who can help me with taxes? The first thing that will come to your mind is Samuel, who is posting about taxes.
Yeah.
That's how the world works.
Yeah.
So we need to start to think about what is the current, how is business running right now? When you tell people run businesses around your knowledge, they'll be, now I need an office, now I need to have big chairs. They think about the limitations, forgetting that yourself, you're already the capital.
Yeah.
You're already the capital because you have the knowledge. All you need is somebody who can provide you.
Yes.
Actually, starting a business around your knowledge does not require any capital.
No. The capital is already the mind because you already invested in.
Yes.
And that's it. So you need to step out.
Yeah.
But again, with this kind of, the Gen Zs now, they have grown up in, I would not call it a corruption setup, where you find that a child receives 500,000 as pocket money, 1 million as pocket money, and then he goes out, the job is offering him 300,000. or 500,000, and he tells you it cannot pay my apartment. You know, these young children forget that some of us, our first small apartments we lived in, small musicals of about 30,000. Yeah. And we've lived in those houses, you know, for many, many years until when you can be able to upgrade yourself. So you realize that a young man who has left university will feel that his apartment should be 600,000 and above, which he has no income for it, but he feels that a salary must be able to cater for my my apartment, pay for my electricity and everything. And because, I mean, I have a degree, and he forgets that people have masters, and even soon PhD holders will have no jobs because, I mean, everybody's going to study PhD now. Yes. So we forget that as we do whatever we do, there's nothing we do that people have never done at the end of the day. And you're going to school, others have already gone out there. So I think their mindset is very important, and I would even take it that we may not do it as a nation, we can do it as a small units. Yeah. Small units is that, what are you doing in your family? If you have a son or daughter, you know, like I have two sons. My last born is 17 years now. He's already 17. Yeah. What I did that every holiday is that they have to work. Actually, they get holidays today. They know there's no resting. I told them you rest when you're dead. That's my principle. You finish school today, they get you out of school, go home, shower, and organize yourself. The following day, you have to leave to go and work. Yeah. And I may not pay them much, little that I pay, but they get some money in their pocket. They skill. I'll tell you this example that they almost chased them out of school, one of my sons. Yeah. And I went to the head teacher, and my son was selling things secretly. You know, I think whenever he wants to go to school, he would get, shoes. Not for schools, but this is what children need. Takes them to school, and then he sells them to those children who come with the money at school. So it was against the school's rules. And then I went to the head teacher. I said, I'm sorry, this is happening in this school. But I told her, I say, okay, if I'm a drunkard, I will give birth to a drunkard. Yeah. If I'm an entrepreneur, probably I'm giving birth to entrepreneurs. And they're doing this against the school rules. I said, okay, we can harmonize that. Because everybody sends out the discipline they have got out of their families. Yeah. This is where they have grown up. We're into a business, and they're selling, and no matter, maybe what we need to talk to them is that they shouldn't do it because it's against the school rules, or they should do it smarter. Yeah. And I harmonized it, and they never were chased out of school. So I realized that whatever children get out of their homes to be able to be sent out. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, I'm happy that my children are able to, they will survive even selling. And I've showed my children that anything that you can put your hands on, be it selling gin, anything, you can turn around with it. And sales is one of the best jobs that you can have actually in your life, because everything you must sell. Yeah. Even when you're looking for a job, you sell yourself, you sell your credentials, you sell your own potential to anyone out there. So getting that skill is to me one of the greatest. So when I go back to the small units of family, we need to do this as family. Yep. The school where my sons go to, I told them, I said, guys, because we always go in for visitation, and I'm like, okay, when we're in a visitation, why should you bring in people here to sell food, to sell juice, to sell everything? And yet in your schools, you have DIT, and then you brought in that department, is it DIT? And then you say that we have a department of entrepreneurs in school. Yeah. So what are you training entrepreneurs? So entrepreneurs should be in that school. You should be able to say, now we are not going to admit other people, anyone who is coming in to sell food, who is coming in to sell sodas, who is coming in to sell anything in this school. So what we're going to do, we are going to use our club, the clubs of the entrepreneurs. They are the ones that are going to be doing this. Even if you involve the parents and say, look, on visitations, their sodas sold. So we are going to allow or tell each child who is in entrepreneurship class to make sure that the parents provide capital, okay? And this group comes in and says, we are students of 20 students in entrepreneurship class, or 100 students. Let's do that. Then we say, okay, we want to make sales on that visitation day. Maybe we're going to sell sodas, we're going to sell cakes, we're going to do this. So allow the children to bring in the capital. Maybe talk to the parents. Yeah. Let them bring in this capital and say, we are going to have how many crates of sodas, so that they're going to sell. At the end of the day, they're able to know that the entrepreneurship class has made sales. They're the ones who made the juices. They're the one. I talked to the school. The school is in actually Our Lady of Good Counsel. I said, yes, let the children really be involved in this.
Yep.
Let them be the ones taking over this so that they are in reality, they are into it. So if we're talking about the school canteen, let the school canteen be taken over by entrepreneurship class. It is as simple as that. And if the children leave school, they have left. So you know that entrepreneurship class, they're the ones that are doing business at the canteen. You're doing it to help them. You're doing it to do this kind of, supporting these children.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the schools, who are doing pocket money. These days they're coming in, say, children need pocket money. But if it is a primary school, what can you do? Can you have a day where these children are given this pocket money? These children go to the canteens. These children know how much they have submitted, then how much balance they're getting back. So every child who expresses themselves in entrepreneurship class, let them do the entrepreneurship as they study it, not just the blackboard. Because the blackboard, sometimes things that are taught in the blackboard, when you come to the field of work, it's totally different. And I'm talking about, I started as an entrepreneur at the age of 22, way back. That's about 25 years ago. I was 22. And I started doing this, but I've realized that as you practice more entrepreneurship, the more you get wiser, the more you get better, the more you become a great businessman and a great human being in that field. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board in the small units of our families, what we're doing by identifying these children. And if a child, you see that they love entrepreneurship, please put them in and let them blossom, let them do it. If you look at your child is interested in content creation, let them start creating content. However fine, you may say at a certain age you can go into it. Identify it and then go for it. So if you're out of university and you feel you have a great smartphone, these days you find that a young girl has a smartphone that is even more expensive than for the father. These days, if you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone, if you have Samsung or Google Pixel, you have a very expensive gadget. What are you using it for? Be online, create this business. Now people are writing content. Have something to put up and say, as I look for a job, this is what I'm creating. As I'm creating my videos online, can I know that I'm going to build in the next 5 years? It becomes my cash cow. Because now creation is no longer into selling and buy. We're into all these things. Can you learn? Because you have an expensive smartphone, but the only thing you're holding that smartphone for is actually showbiz, text, and nothing. Every phone can text. Why should you buy an iPhone of 6 million when you can't create value out of that iPhone? You can't take good videos that you're going to sell out. You can't take good pictures that you're going to put out there to create content. The only thing is texting and WhatsApp, Facebook, on every phone, no matter how expensive it is.
I like your sharing especially from the parents' point of view. I think as you were sharing, I was trying to reflect on why I have an entrepreneurial mind, and again gets back to also how I was also brought up. Because my father exposed me a lot, especially in terms of entrepreneurship. And when I reflect about that, I know there could be a parent who is asking themselves, so if I do not have any business, I'm employed, I'm working in maybe in a bank, and my children are not able to get the same exposure or support that they can. And I thought about the power of mentorship. I run the Transformation Professionals Club, where we do mentorship around career growth, business growth, personal finance, and where we bring people like you that have gone ahead in terms of business and are able to equip these young people. So I would encourage that if your young person has gone through this journey and maybe you've not brought them in a way that maybe could open their mind to possibilities in business, I think mentorship would be a very great tool. Either you could be knowing a parent who is running a business like Bravo, where you can engage this young person to learn from this person, or you can actually put them into structured environments like the Transformation Professionals Club, where they have access to a lot of people. They are learning to see the realities of life. Sometimes people think that the young people have limited knowledge because of exposure. So giving them that exposure and making them to understand that, okay, my father may not be an entrepreneur, but I can actually also become an entrepreneur. The reason why we have this conversation of not everyone is meant for entrepreneurship is because people have been nurtured to be employees. But I believe that, Brian, if you can have your knowledge and you can go before an interview panel and sell yourself for that knowledge, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because you're selling a service.
Absolutely.
I think it's just the mindset of them knowing that even if I'm looking for a job, in essence, I'm actually an individual who is selling my services.
Yeah.
And if you're selling your services, one, you want to offer value for a return on what you have offered. So when young people now start to look at things in that way, maybe their mindset will change. So it's a journey that starts when this young person is still in university, still in high school. Equip them, allow them. My father gave me my first capital to start a business, even when I was at university. It was not just out of that I needed this money, but he wanted me to get the skill. He gave me his space to sell shoes. So I would buy shoes from Owino and take them to Ginger and sell them. He really encouraged me. He bought me the first camera that I used to take photos of people. And that brought, now all that knowledge equipped me that even when right now I'm dealing in two businesses that are totally different from what I started with, but there are certain things that I equipped myself with that I learned into the process.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I'm also now transferring these same skills.
Yes.
So to every young person who is watching us there, you need to understand that if you have failed to find a job, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world that because your colleagues or friends are somewhere employed in big organizations that you give up on your life. You could be 23, 25, or 30 years, but you can change your life. It's all about you understanding that what do I have? Where do I start from? I have this skill that I studied. If it's not about the skill that you studied, what does the market want right now? I know you're in social media and you see a lot of people that are posting about their businesses, young people that are creating contents, even doctors that have left the hospital and are creating content. Even if you are employed, because there are quite a lot of people that are employed, you're employed somewhere, but you're not happy because you're not earning enough money, you're frustrated, you've lost hope in life. I want to encourage you that you can do a lot in life. There's a lot that you have to offer. It's just about changing your mindset to see what possibilities, what products can you offer the market. Even if you do not have capital, capital is not the problem. Let's get our mind off saying, I don't have money, I don't have capital to start. It's just about look for somebody who has the goods that you want, even if it's furniture, or somebody has deals in plants and they have these things. Ask them, can I take pictures of these plants?
Yeah.
Can I take pictures of these dresses that you sell? Create an account. Start posting these things consistently. Because in this day and age, when somebody wants to buy, let's say, shoes, what they do, they will go online and search shoes for children. You know who is going to show up? Bravo Shoes up. Why? Because he has optimized his profile. He's on Google Business. He's on every social media platform. That's how business is working. So you too can start small wherever you are with just your gadget, your phone, internet, and before you know it, you're not just searching for any job because you're already creating something. And you're also now creating business for others who are actually your suppliers. You're also creating employment because you can't take over 10 years, 5 years looking for a job that doesn't exist. You know, you've submitted over 100 CVs and you've not gotten even a single appointment for an interview. Why don't you get back and say, as I look for a job, can I do something? Can I start something? Because at the end of the day, you're going to reach a point in time when you're in your 30s or 40s and you're going to look back and see wasted time.
Yeah.
So instead of living in frustration, where you're going to even bring this frustration to your family, why don't you start something? Why don't you embrace, even if it's going back to learn a skill that you didn't study from university, let's say baking, or go and study tailoring, or study anything, even if it's digital marketing, and say, I'm going now to provide digital marketing services. Go and do it. Do anything that you think legitimately brings you money. And before you know it, you are growing, your income is growing, you're happy, you're not frustrated because there are no jobs.
Yeah.
You're living a life that you are proud about, and you're even able to support your family. You're able to reach certain milestones. So people that wake up every morning, there are people that wake up every morning to just go on social media and scroll. Ask yourself, how can I also be part of those people that are creating content that is actually bringing in money?
Yeah, and it's also good to copy.
Yes.
I will tell the viewers here that you're free to copy. Okay, copy everything. You're free to copy, and what matters is if you're copying, are you ready to sustain the copy? That's what matters.
Yeah.
Because whatever they're doing may not have been so unique, but are you ready to sustain the copy?
Yes.
To me, I think that's what matters, because it's through copying that we are able to do what? We're able to learn. So, yes, I think we need to just to improve ourselves.
Yes.
And for the parents out there that I know that some parents now are thinking deeper, and it's like, how do I help my son or my daughter?
Yeah.
How do I see my children get better? Others are saying, you failed to get a job, you've been here, I paid school fees, I paid everything. So they think automatically that since you finished school, you must be able to get a job. And for them, of course, they'll be looking at getting that big job of what you requested too. But I would ask, maybe say, what if we think deep again and go back and say, okay, if I'm choosing to support my child, let's talk about maybe supporting my own child.
Yep.
Let's say you have money, because I know there are many parents who have the money, and your children are actually, getting in senior 6 holidays. Yeah. What if you're a parent out there and you approach a friend or colleague out there that have businesses or have places of work, and you say, okay, can my daughter or my son be at this place, and I'll pay for them for the 3 months they'll be here. Let's support these children. But as you're doing this as a parent, do not let your son or daughter know that you're the one who is paying for their being in that place. You can deal with it with the employee. There are many companies that would want support team. Yeah. And for you are looking at this child being engulfed. At least if you do it few months, your child is not idle. If you look at companies, what if you choose those companies? If you have friends, because you have friends whom you're saying they're not giving your children, your sons and daughters employment, you could choose to say, can my son or daughter come here for 6 months or 1 year, while at the back end, I am the one who is providing this money to this company so that this child gets knowledge, gets everything. But when you discuss it with your child, they may think it's just spoon feeding.
Yeah.
But when you come in and say, let my child be in this company, I want them to get experience and learn. After a year, you can choose them to retain them. Then you provide that money to that company. The company will also be getting, we're getting free labor, okay? And they will be able to train this child, which is others would call it internship. No, I'm not looking at internship. I'm looking at you as a person arranging it. And no company will say no. Because they will say, I already have a receptionist. Can I have 2? It's okay, I can deploy the second one. I have already salespeople who have 3. Can I have the 4th? So I am also helping a friend of mine to support their child. And then they are also in return helping by paying this child in being in my premises. That's a small tactic. So for the employers who are out there and a friend approaches you to say, can I bring my son or daughter here for purposes of them working, not training them, working, then I'll be paying for salary for the next 6 months. And should they have any problem, we can choose either continue with them or incorporate them in the company. That's a simple tactic. If you have a company out there, please support your friends and colleagues, and let the colleagues also come into that. We can do. I've supported many way back, but they were being brought in by the incubators. Something deployed, but us, we cannot do this by stepping forward and helping our children in this case as well. So instead of them being on TV and everything, at least your child would know that you don't come to work above time. They will charge you, or they will dismiss you. If a colleague, a friend dismisses your child out of their workplace, then your child will come back home and learn. I know that I was dismissed in this workplace. Even if they are suspended, even a friend can choose to suspend your son for 2 weeks and say, why did you work? I was suspended. So they understand that that's how work comes up.
Yeah. I like the facts in terms of values, because I think our young people have the values that come either from school. You know, we don't have a lot of time for these children.
Yes.
So there's that gap. When they leave university or they leave high school, there's a lot of expectation within them. And it's something that you brought up, where the parent has been giving this child a lot of money, that they feel they can't work for 300,000 or 400,000.
Yeah.
I think if a child has left university, and you as a parent, instead of just looking for a job for this child, the volunteering that you brought up is very important. If this child is not, maybe is not interested in taking this approach, the other approach could be, can you give them a small amount of money as capital for them to buy a product and sell it? And then you support them from there to see how that business goes. Such that instead of just that person just looking for the job, which may not be available, they have something that they are using to get a small income. I think it's you're basically supporting them in their early stages of their entrepreneurship journey, and seeing how to push them. Because even business, one thing I know that parents have connections, they have relationships. So if you have started a business, and I usually encourage, one of the things that I think I've seen, I think it's, I don't know which, either some churches encouraging the families that come to those churches to at least have a source of income. And I think even the government has tried to this. Like, every family should have something that brings in an income that could involve each of these children. That's why projects are important in a family. If you are employed, and these are quite a lot of people, you're employed and there's nothing that you have that is entrepreneurial in your home or in your family, start something with your child, such that you support them. Because at the end of the day, Brian, you see this conversation we are having, there are people who are leaving retirement. They are going to retirement, but they don't have anything to do. There is a lady who just called me and said, I received my retirement benefits. I put them into Bitcoin, and I've already lost 3/4 of it. I've remained with the amount of money. I don't think this money will help me. What business can I start? So you find that somebody has worked for over 30 years or 40 years, but they have never started any kind of business.
Or financial literacy.
And they want to start the business when they are in their 70s. And in there's pressure. You know how businesses run. Before you know it, they tell you URA has held up with you, and you're like, this is my only saving that I have. What can I do? I think it's an encouragement that not only the young people, even the professionals that are employed, they need to start to embrace this thing of entrepreneurship. Because you see, as we are trying to help these people that are leaving university to create something, there are people who are employed but are losing the jobs.
They are losing the jobs, and they end up looking, because we have already created a certain class.
Exactly.
So that certain class has made us very complacent in a way that we feel we can't do nothing. If you retire and come out of a big jeep, sometimes you guys, you drive big jeeps, you who work in big organizations. So you feel that you cannot go on the street and do nothing. because you've been putting on suits all the time.
Yes, yes.
And every time you put on a suit, guys who are watching, I've always told him not to put on jackets because I don't wear suits. I think I don't even have any suit because I always tell the man I don't wear the suit. But of course, the profession entails him to do that. Yeah. So we look at ourselves in that way of putting up a certain picture of who we are. And then we forget that nobody cares actually at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But who drives my mind, and where do I derive my motivation? I have to be sincere with you. As an entrepreneur, is from one man called Colonel Sanders, the one who started KFC.
Yeah.
Up to today, when people tell me, how is business? I say, no, business, I'm still starting and I'm still growing.
Yeah.
I will start at the age of 65. And most people wonder, how does Bravo say that? I say, yes. I know business takes 30 years, 40 years to blossom. Colonel Sanders started at the age of 65 after retirement from the army. He went to Kentucky and started selling chicken on the street. Kentucky, fried chicken. On the street. The man went on the street, he was in the army. Went on the street, started selling chicken. How many professionals can do this? The guy, that was 1932, around 1932, and 1952, he sold his first franchise. He was 88 years. So he started, you can imagine. So how many professionals that can really undress themselves from the suits, if you're a former PS, or you're a former CEO, or you're a former executive director somewhere, or you're a former big boss, that you come out and say, yes, those were the titles I got out of my workplace. Now let me undress myself. I love cooking, or I love baking, or I love doing this. Can I go on the street and do this? Most people feel, I'm going to lose my respect. Guys, the world needs you when you have something in your pocket.
Exactly.
And that's what we care about. Exactly. So if you're out there and you're getting out of retirement, out of that big seat, out of that big office, or out of that jeep where you have even bodyguards, or where you have the PAs, they call them the PAs, please, it's never too late to start. As long as you're determined and you don't care who says what, you can do it.
Exactly.
Look at Colonel Sanders. Most of you, if you have not read about KFC, just know how old that guy was and see how amazing he did it. And you can do it. And again, nobody should even tell us that you're old. Who tells you? I always tell people, leave a youthful mind. A youthful mind means that you're always up there. Yes. I am the age of 47, and if you go to the internet, you can't challenge me. I'm always on the internet, because I tell people, internet came in my time. It did not come in the time of my son or daughter. Yes. It came in my time. So I must perform best with the internet. By the time my child comes up there, I'm already somewhere else. So to me, I've not grown up with titles, unfortunately, and I don't believe in titles. I believe in being human and doing what I love doing. And that's what makes, and we all of us have things we love doing. Only that these offices we go into, they make us grow wings, and even, I don't want to use a bad language, I was going to use some bad language, but it makes us grow that the extent that we forget who we are, and we forget our purpose, and we forget what we love most. And that's why so many men, as they retire, they die. They can't sustain that change of life. And I want to tell you that as long as you have a job that is not yours, still it will be normal. So I agitate for everyone to create your own jobs if you can. Yes.
I think it's very important, Brian, and you do not start something at the point of need. What I mean by this is that some people wait, when I get out of retirement, that's when I'll start this business. Instead of saying, okay, when I still have this job, can I create something that can actually give me a certain level of income that is even addition to my salary? Because at the end of the day, like we've mentioned, we have children that are leaving university without jobs. When you create this business, your children are part of the first employees. You might even find that you have a spouse that doesn't have a job. So what about you creating a family business where these people are able to provide their services? The other thing is also somebody could do is leverage online. You've already mentioned about technology. You don't need to actually get to a customer to deliver the goods. These days, there are delivery companies. Somebody can order a product online. You don't even need a full shop of space for you to put, let's say, your products. There are online stores where you can put your product and somebody can be able to buy.
Yeah.
There are people that are so skilled, so knowledgeable, that can even put some of their knowledge in books or even offer consultancy services to other companies that may not afford them, that are able to pay them for what they can provide. And before you know it, you're gaining pace, that by the time you are pushed out of employment, you know we've mentioned retirement, but there are people now that are losing their jobs even at the age of 20 or 30. When you say did the funds cut, there are quite a lot of my colleagues that we worked with in the NGO world that lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Right now, they don't have a job, and they are still looking for jobs that are not existing.
And yet they should be able to be starting up something.
Yeah, so right now is get back to your senses and say, wait a moment, what if I don't find a job in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
What can I do with my skills?
Yes.
Can I get off and get to Chikubo and buy some products and start to sell them? Even if I'm not selling them online or I'm finding a space, there are people who have spaces that can use their spaces to create something. You can sub-rent, start small.
The issue is starting.
Yeah, the issue is starting. And having the mindset that things are not going to be rosy, but you're going to be in there.
Yes.
You're going to bear the gestation period, like you indicated. Businesses take time to grow. I think one of the things that I like about you, Brian, is the aspect of focus.
Yeah.
Being able to know that I've sold these shoes for the last how many years?
I mean, I started when I was 22. I've been at my address for 25 years now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm going to be so patient with myself. The reason why people struggle in businesses, and when you bring the conversation of entrepreneurship, they struggle, is because today you find them sell rice. The next day they will sell, let's say, shoes. The next time they'll move to clothes. And from there they'll hear, this thing is working, land is working. They'll move to your estate.
They go to grasshoppers as well.
They will struggle. So before you know it, even when somebody wants to recommend, you'll be like, I heard you used to sell shoes. You'd be like, I left those shoes
now
long
they
time
even
ago.
lose trust in you.
They lose trust.
Yeah, because you're always rotating left
You're
and right.
always rotating everywhere. But you also do not take time to understand and learn the business.
Yeah, which takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. You also, when you remain in a business for long, you build relationships with your suppliers. They trust you.
Definitely.
Because they know you've taken these goods for the last 10 years. Why don't they give you several goods that you can sell and pay them at a later time? So it takes a lot of time. Even the customers, you see, Brian, these days you go online and sell your products. But there's a customer who is not going to buy from you at that point in time. They'll buy from you after 2 years. Why? Because they first see, are you serious? They also see your consistency and also see your growth. Your testimonials also come through. People are looking to see that traction, be like, if this guy has done this business for the last 5 years, then they are genuine. And they will support you. So that is with the product business. It's also with the service business. Your consistency, and don't undermine anything. Me, I usually tell people that even pancakes, as the way you look at them, they can actually make somebody so rich that they can. We've seen it.
It is selling. Apart from
it's beyond the product.
Yeah, it's beyond the product.
Some people undermine certain products, be like, how can I be seen selling such? But it is when bills are knocking at your door.
You need the money.
They need the money. And when you're spending that amount of money, even if you're taking a trip to Dubai, no one at the airport will ask you where did you get the money from?
You have the ticket.
They want the money.
Yeah.
So be comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yeah, true.
With your hustle.
Yeah.
Because yes, you fear people looking at you and say, what will people say about me, like my people that I studied with?
Yeah.
But before you know it, instead of you asking for, guy, give me a 10,000, let you say, I sell this product. Can you support me in this kind of business? Before you know it, your business is growing. You are getting an income. Your children are also benefiting because you're going to have your children. Even when you get to retirement, you're in your 60s, your 80s like Sanders, and business is coming through. Your brand is growing.
It takes effort, and definitely we have to be there. Thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure and having Samuel Ibanda, coach. And you always come here to give us one of the greatest. This was a discussion for us together to make sure that you learn and learn, or pick what you can, If you can't pick anything, then we have to check you as well. But I think with all that we've spoken, you're able to speak something, to pick something that is of value to you. We're at Naria Motel for everyone who would want to have a good place, cool place, private, that you can also come and sit, relax, and make sure that you can have your coffee. And for the plant lovers, please, Naria Motel is your place to be. So thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next podcast. But please always comment below, share our content, comment, tell us whatever topic you'd want us to cover in our next podcast that will be coming on board. Thank you so much, and thank you, brother, for joining our race.
Thank you.
Yes.